when you talk about like surviving like emotionally, can you just unpack like what that looks like on a typical day, like,
Yeah.
for you?
So, man, it's crazy. Like, I'm a pastor, and this is like the real, like, authentic, genuine thing that I want to share. Like, man, there's surviving, like, emotionally. Like, there's so many different feelings that you're experiencing in grief. Some of them are like happy, like joyful feelings of like my mom is in heaven with Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
that's an incredible thing, right? Like, I'm so happy. My mom suffered a lot this last year. So in March, she broke her tailbone. She slipped and broke her tailbone, and from that, my mom was like, I wouldn't say like crazy active, but like mom could move and walk and like take care. She was independent, right? She went from that to being bedridden and having nurses having to do everything for her. She couldn't even go to the bathroom herself, right? Like before she went into the hospital and was admitted, I was like going to her house and taking care of her, and so all of that suffering gone and her being in heaven, healed, whole. My mom loved to worshiping Jesus, like face to face. Like I'm so happy for that, right? Yeah. But then at the same time, like there's so many feelings of loneliness and like pain and like feelings of loss, feelings of anger.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's hard. Like I preach about every 3 weeks at my church. I push my preaching, like we push my preaching out because I told my lead pastor, I was like, man, I need time to wrestle through my relationship with God because I'm angry.
Yep.
And like that's a real thing. And I don't think I'm a bad Christian. And I know I'm not a bad Christian because I'm angry. I'm angry at God. God, how could you give me like this hand at life, right? Like, man, there's people that have incredible families, incredible parents. Like, not only did you not give me a father, which, you know, I finally, like, I got peace with, right? But now you took away, like, my mom. And, like, my mom is, like, the only person that's, like, I'm so proud of the ministry that you're doing. I'm so proud of the work that you're doing. Like, she was, like, my biggest cheerleader. Like, she saw that. I was like, God, how could you take that away from me? Like, you essentially left me, like, as an orphan. Like, why would you do that to me? Like, how horrible is that? And it's just anger. Like I'm working through it, and man, I was telling our pastors yesterday, like I was spending some time with the Lord yesterday, and I was like pushing in, and I was trying, and I was like felt like I was just running up against the wall, and I just got angry about it. I was like, I've been here before, God. Like it's not my first time in your presence. I've been here before, and I feel like I can't get through. And I'm like, and so it's just like all of this stuff is just transpiring in my head. And later that night, yesterday, I was listening to some worship music, and I felt like there's a song that I was listening to, and one of the girls was singing, and she was just saying, you know, I'm gonna sit here in your presence until my heart screams yes, surrender to whatever you want. And there's just like this tenacity that it just I felt like the Lord was just saying, like, this is a process. Like your survivor's mentality and your healing, like there's a process. I don't want to slap a Band-Aid on that. Like I don't want you to have scar tissue. I want you to be stronger because of this. And so it's going to take a while. And you don't have to worry about the end result. The only thing that, you know, my father was telling me to do is just meet with me. Just be with me.
Yeah, and there, man, what you just said, there's a profoundness because, you know, when we read the Psalms, David, in one verse he would, you know, be raising his fists at God or expressing really strong emotions of anger, and then the next one he'd say, but God is, and your response was just that. Like, which people need. They need to see that. Like I'm struggling. Like in my relationship with God, I'm angry. I feel like I hit a wall. And then it was like so seamless. Then you just were talking about, but like this is who God is. And the church needs to see that more.
Yeah, like, and part of the reason why, like, you know, I was hesitant of how much, you know, to share about, like, stuff with my mom, but, like, part of the reason why, like, and my wife was, you know, encouraging me to just be used by the Lord and be used by the Holy Spirit. Part of the reason why I want to share is because, man, we want to put off our most polished self forth in everything. Like it's a business proposal, right? Let's make sure everything looks good. And that's what we want to do in church all the time. And when we aren't that self and that person's not really who we are, that's when we're not honest with who we are, with ourselves or with others, I feel like that's when we get stuck in survivor's mentality. It's okay to be like, and here's like what I believe is it's okay to be in survivor's mentality. Like you said it, David, man, he was there. He had like that survivor's mentality, that wilderness mindset all over in his life. But he never, the reason why David's one of my favorite characters, and the reason why, you know, God says he's a man after my own heart, I believe is because he was never stuck. Like he didn't just stay where he was at. There was movement and motion towards getting back with God. And I think that the reason why I want to just be real about it is to let people know that if until we're honest with ourselves and honest with other people, we'll never be able to get out of it.